This is our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for July 30, 2019. My name is JC De Guzman. So we're going to talk about 10 different stocks. I'll give you my usual technical analysis. I'll let you know what I see on the trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts. And then finally, I'll give you my overall sentiment together with my recommendations, whether you already have the stock or if you are just planning to enter a new position on it or in it. I'd like to mention as well that if in case any of these 10 stocks begin at a price lower or higher than the dominant range that you're about to see, make sure that you post a request for the latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts of that stock in our private clients forum. Of course, if you are only interested with that stock. If you're not interested with that stock, it's not mandatory to post that request in our private clients forum. So let's begin with ICT. ICT closed today at 135 peso per share. The last time that I talked about this stock in the previous video, I said that we have to see we had to see if it would respect the midterm support at this level 133.6. So apparently it broke a little bit below that line, but it managed to return from where it left off last week. So apparently the midterm support at 133.5 is somewhat a strong support that it could not give up, so to speak. So again, if it breaks below 133.5, there's a deeper support waiting near 120.6, which is in confluence with the 61.8% retracement of our up Fibonacci. Our immediate resistance is at 148 peso per share. Okay, so our 10 SMACD combo, unluckily, it's not yet valid. It's not yet valid. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 23 million pesos. RSI is still in the neutral level. It's downward sloping. Risk level remains low. The downward momentum is still very strong. Of course, this single one-day green candlestick cannot reverse everything that happened in the past 2 weeks or so. So we have to see ICT registering a few more green candlesticks for the positive DMI to cross above the negative DMI. So checking on the trade and volume distribution chart, the dominant range is between 130 132.6 to 134. Okay, 132.6 to 134. ICT was forced closed yesterday at 135. Okay, so if it does not start at a price higher or equal to 135, monitor the range between 132.6 to 134. Anyhow, the dominant range is still closer to the intraday high than the intraday low, and that completes the bullishness of our momentum power indicator. Okay, our momentum power indicator is bullish, but the 10 SMACD combo remains invalid. So do you still have ICT because your trailing stop loss was not hit or has not been hit yet? Therefore, you can still do a top up within the dominant range. You might be asking, why should I do a top up if the 10 SMACD combo is invalid? Well, you can preempt it if you are an experienced trader already. You can preempt it because our momentum power indicator is bullish. By the way, our momentum power indicator is composed of the 4-point criteria. This is what I usually call the 4-point criteria, and then became the Fantastic Four, and then we arrive into this much more formal terminology called momentum power indicator. Okay, how about those who are yet to enter a new position? Same advice. If you are a relatively experienced trader, you can preempt the validation of our 10 SMACD combo because the momentum power indicator is bullish. But if you don't consider yourself as a relatively experienced trader, you are better off waiting for the 10 SMACD combo to be revalidated together with the bullishness of the momentum power indicator. Okay? Make sure that you calculate your reward to risk ratio. Do not forget that if you are yet to enter a new position in any stock, there's an extra process that you must go through. That is the calculation of your reward to risk ratio. Okay, these things that I've been saying in this video, together with the past videos, are the exact same lessons that I taught you during the Evergreen Strategy in Trading the Philippine Stock Market seminar. Okay, so keep on watching these daily videos, keep on reviewing the handouts that I sent you, so you can familiarize yourself from lesson 1 all the way to lesson number 6. A day will come, the goal, your goal should be, a day should come that you don't have to refer to the handouts, just to remember what we talked about in lesson number 3, lesson number 5, and so on. Okay, do this for every day for at least 90 days. By the time, you and I should be using the same language already. Okay, so my overall sentiment for ICT in the short term is, I'm not so bullish on ICT yet. Again, it's partly because, before we say that, let me show you first. I almost forgot the true market sentiment. Okay, the true market sentiment. What's the true market sentiment of ICT? Bearish. Okay, so this is the reason why I'm not yet that bullish on ICT, or partly because it has just recovered after a series of after getting battered with red candlesticks on a daily basis. So I would say I'm neutral at this point on ICT. I'm neutral. That's why I highlighted, or I emphasized, that only if you are an experienced trader should you preempt the 10 MACD combo with the presence of the bullish momentum power indicator. Yes? Okay. So that's it. And I've given you my pieces of advice already for ICT. Next, we got IDC. IDC closed today at 7.11. Support is at 5.8. Resistance is at 7.6. I am seeing a perfect bullish alignment among its 3 simple moving averages. Foreign investors, on the other hand, registered a $500,000 worth of net foreign selling. The 10 MACD combo is very valid. It was first revalidated in July 12, 2019. So those who attended the Evergreen Strategy in Trading the Philippine Stock Market seminar before that day, congratulations. You should have caught this one and you should have been making a lot of money right now. It's from 5 to it's not above 7. Yes, that's good. RSI is already playing inside the classical overbought level. So those who managed to enter a new position in IDC last week or 2 weeks ago, or in the second week of July, eyes on your trailing stop loss. Okay, the weekends might decide to do some profit taking, especially now that the RSI is playing inside the classical overbought level. Risk level of IDC is already high. It's a high risk level already. The upward momentum nonetheless remains very strong. Again, our 10 MACD combo is valid. How about the momentum power indicator? Yes, it's also bullish. So you got the 10 MACD combo valid, you got the momentum power indicator bullish. What a perfect way for you to top up. Okay, the dominant range is between 7 to 7.1. Our true market sentiment for IDC is neutral. It's neutral. So my overall sentiment is still bullish when we combine everything here. If you have had IDC and you're asking me if it still makes sense to top up, yes, you can do that within the dominant range. There are data-driven signals to do that. I've mentioned them already. If you are yet to enter, don't forget that extra process that you must go through, the calculation of your reward to risk ratio. It doesn't mean the 10 MACD combo is valid. It doesn't mean the momentum power indicator is bullish. No. Even with the presence of those two parameters, you don't have to quickly push the buy button or the test buy button. You have to calculate your reward to risk ratio first. If you are satisfied with your triple R, that's the time that you should do the test buy within the dominant range. Okay? So consider that thing. But for me, the upward momentum is still more likely to continue, especially if IDC will continue to register daily green volume bars that are higher than its 10-day volume average. It might ignore the classical overbought signal coming from RSI then. Okay, I'm bullish on IDC. Next is IRC. IRC closed today at 1.79, support is at 1.6, resistance is at 2 peso per share. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 10.8 million pesos. The three SMAs of IRC are not yet aligned in a perfect bullish alignment. Actually, this is still a perfect bearish alignment, but the consolation here is that the last candlestick is already moving above the 10 SMA, and that makes our 10 SMACD combo valid. Okay, 10 SMACD combo is already valid. RSI is still in the neutral level, risk level is low, and even though the positive DMI is already hovering the negative DMI, I would say that the upward momentum is not yet very strong. Let's find out if our 10 SMACD combo or our momentum power indicator is bullish. So our dominant range is between 1.78 to 1.83. So we got it. Let's see. Momentum power indicator 1.79. Take note, our momentum power indicator is not yet that bullish because VWAP is not, or the last price is not trading above the VWAP. It's equal to the VWAP. So our momentum power indicator is not yet bullish, FYI. The true market sentiment of IRC is bullish on the other hand. But my overall sentiment in here is still neutral. There's a possibility for IRC to bounce away once it touches the position of its 50-day SMA here, the red line. That's a possibility. I did not say it's a guarantee. Okay? So what do we do? If IRC is in your portfolio and you still have it because your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, I suggest that you hold your position but don't top up yet. If you are planning to enter a new position, I suggest that you wait for the momentum power indicator to become bullish again. Those are the 4-point criteria. Okay? So overall, we all have to be in a watch and see mode for IRC for now. Remember what I told you in the introduction, that if and when any of these 10 stocks begin at a price lower or higher than the dominant range, make sure that you post for the stock's latest TVD and TMS charts in our private clients forum if you are interested with the name. Okay? So after IRC, we got DMW. DMW closed today at 11.04. It broke above its previous resistance at 10.64, which is now acting as its immediate support. Resistance, the major resistance is at 12.44, but we can categorically assign 11.5 as a midterm resistance as well, or as precursor to 12.44. I like the perfect bullish alignment of its three simple moving averages. RSI is still quite distant from the classical overbought level. Risk level remains low. And the upward momentum is 3 points away from winning that very strong upward momentum label. So maybe 1 or 2 more green candlesticks closer to 11.5 and the DMI will give DMW a very strong upward momentum label by that time. Our 10 SMACD combo remains valid. Let's see if the momentum power indicator is bullish, and yes, it is. Our dominant range is between 10.88 to 11.04. The true market sentiment for DMW is bearish. On the other hand, some folks decided to lock in profits when it broke above the previous resistance at 10.64. But as for me, based on the mixed indicators that we have checked, I would say that DMW remains bullish in the short term. So if you still have DMW because your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet and because you managed to enter a new position last July 23, yes, July 23, congratulations if you stick with our process. Okay, therefore you have some data driven signals to to top up. Okay, remember, if you are planning to enter a new position, not because the tennis MACD combo is valid and the momentum power indicator is bullish, it doesn't mean you should push the buy button right away. Don't forget your triple R. Calculate your reward to risk ratio first. If you are satisfied with your triple R, do a test buy within the dominant range. Okay? You know what to do if the stock registers a price higher or lower than the dominant range. Okay? After DMW, we have Web. Web closed today at 4.04. Support is at 3.84. Resistance is at 4.45. I am seeing a perfect bullish alignment among its three simple moving averages. However, the last candlestick is moving below the 10 SMA. Therefore, our 10 SMACD combo remains invalid. It has been invalid since it was invalidated on July 23. Foreign investors registered less than $500,000 worth of net foreign buying. I would say that's an insignificant amount, so let's not factor that in. RSI is still playing in the neutral level, risk level remains low, and the negative DMI is still hovering the positive DMI, although the downward momentum level is not already very strong. Okay, let's see if our momentum power indicator is bullish on Web. It is not bullish, I would say, because it's quite groggy on the chart. It looks like everything is part of the dominant range. Okay, so this is how the trade and volume distribution looks like. I'm going to paste the statistics in our private clients forum so you will know where the most traded and most voluminous ranges are. For the true market sentiment of DMW, it is bearish as well. So my overall sentiment for Web is still neutral. What does that mean to you? That means if you still have, do you still have Web? It hit 4.45, then it hit almost at 3.8. By then, I would say that your trailing stop loss must have already been hit. Okay, it must have already been hit. So I'm just going to give some pieces of advice for those who are yet to enter a new position. I would say postpone that plan. Postpone that plan for now. Okay, the 10 SMACD combo is invalid. The momentum power indicator is not yet bullish. Okay, so postpone that plan, be in a wait and see mode. Continue monitoring Web if you are interested in this stock. Okay, don't enter a new position yet. So after Web, we got ABACOR. ABA closed today at 0.97. It broke below the 10 SMA. Well, actually, MACD has already been moving below the signal line since July 10. So since as early as July 10, the 10 MACD combo has already been invalidated. Okay, and RSI is already downward sloping. It's already in the neutral level. Risk level remains moderate, and the upward momentum is still in a very strong category, but the positive DMI is already downward sloping, therefore forming a bearish convergence with a negative DMI. Let's see. The 10 MACD combo is invalid. Of course, the momentum power indicator is already bearish, as confirmed by this dominant range that is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. The dominant range is between 0.97 to 1.03. The true market sentiment of ABACOR is bullish. On the other hand, does it mean you should catch the or buy the dip? No. We can do better than that. Okay. Let these folks who have decided to sell their ABACOR shares to get exhausted first. How do we know if they have reached an exhaustion level? We will know if when the momentum power indicator is already bullish. That's the signal. That's what I taught you during the evergreen strategy in trading the Philippine stock market seminar for 6 hours. Okay, so if you still have ABACOR because your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, then hold your position, or you're better off preempting your trailing stop loss. sell a few tranches. If you're planning to enter a new position, no, not yet. Don't enter a new position yet, please, until the momentum power indicator becomes bullish. Next, we have Globe. Globe closed today at 2,190 pesos per share. Major support is at 1,985.9, but we can say that there's a precursor here, a mini support at 2,127. Resistance is at 2,320. Okay, I am seeing a perfect bullish alignment among its three simple moving averages, and luckily the last candlestick is already trading below the 10 SMA and the 50 SMA. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 49 million pesos. Our 10 SMACD combo has already been invalidated. RSI is in the neutral level, but it's downward sloping. Risk level remains low. The positive DMI is still hovering the negative DMI, but I'm seeing a formation of a bearish convergence between the positive and the negative DMI. I said bearish convergence. Okay, let's see. Oh, the momentum power indicator is guaranteed to be bearish because the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high, obviously, if you are watching this. The dominant range is between 2,190 to 2,210. The true market sentiment for Globe is bullish. So some deep pocketed investors bought the dips. If we don't have hundreds of millions, half a billion, or over a billion pesos worth of trading capital for Globe for short-term trading, I do not suggest piggybacking the bullish, the buy the dips stance of some members of the top 10 brokers. Okay? Let their bullishness make our momentum power indicator bullish first for us retail traders who only have a few thousands of pesos or maybe less than a million pesos worth of trading capital for Globe. Okay, so we see things differently here. Okay, we see things differently. It's important to know what the deep pocketed investors are doing, but it does not necessarily mean that we should also do what they do, unless we also have at least half a billion or hundreds of million pesos of trading capital dedicated only for Globe. Okay, so now my overall sentiment for Globe is still bearish. I am bearish on Globe. Okay, wait for the 10 SMACD combo to be revalidated, or at least for the momentum power indicator to become bullish again. Okay, don't hurry. Next is PHEN. PHEN closed today at 2.41. Support is at 2.2. Resistance is at 2.81. DMI. This shows that consolidation. PHEN has already been in a consolidation phase between 2.2 to 2.81. Since when? Since June. I told you in my previous videos that I don't like to trade stocks that are slipping in a consolidation phase. I would rather trade stocks that are poised to register a trend or are already in a trend. RSI is downward sloping. It's playing inside the neutral level. Risk level remains moderate. I am seeing a bearish convergence, a formation of a bearish convergence between the positive and the negative DMI. The 10 SMACD combo is invalid. Of course, the momentum power indicator is bearish. The dominant range is between 2.41 to 2.5. The true market sentiment for PHEN is bullish. So like what I said, for Globe, let's not buy the dips yet. Let them get exhausted. Okay, let the bullish true market sentiment make our momentum power indicator bullish first. Okay, we don't have to be gullible with what the deep pocketed investors are doing. We just want to know what they do. So we have a data-driven basis on whether the stock is about to rebound or if it's more likely to continue to descend to the bottom. But in this case, let's see if the bullish true market sentiment will respect the support at 2.2. Next is LTG. LTG broke below the previous support at 14.7. It closed at 14.24. The support is now at 12.82. 14.7 is acting as its immediate resistance. I'm seeing a perfect bearish alignment amongst three simple moving averages. Our 10 MACD combo has already been invalid since or as early as July 18. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 21 million pesos. Okay, RSI is approaching the classical oversold level. It's already below the neutral territory. Risk level remains low. The downward momentum is about to get is it's about to it's still quite distant from the very strong downward momentum label, but it's getting there. The negative DMI is hovering the positive DMI already. Okay, so LTG, the dominant range is between 14.22 to 14.3. The true market sentiment for LTG is neutral. So stay away from LTG for now. Wait for the 10 MACD combo to be revalidated and for our momentum power indicator to become bullish. Okay, so stay away. If you're interested, just monitor it, add it into your watch list. Wait for those signals that we are looking for. And lastly, we got ALCO. ALCO closed today at 1.08. Seems that the resistance at 1.15 is indeed very strong. It failed to break above that level once again. And then there's a mini support at 1.03, between 1.1 peso to 1.03 actually. Okay, it's a precursor to a deeper support at 0.86. The three simple moving averages are still aligned in a perfect bullish position, but the 10 MACD combo has already been invalidated because the negative D, the MACD has already been moving below the signal line since July 22nd. RSI is downward sloping, moving towards the neutral level. Historical volatility is at 67%, giving ALCO a moderate risk level. For the DMI, of course, the ATX remains at 49%, 50%, and the positive DMI is still above the negative DMI, signaling that the upward momentum is still very strong. But let's see if it can gather enough momentum to break the resistance, the ceiling at 1.15. Let's take a look at the dominant range. I see some signs of hesitation by the looks of this trade and volume distribution chart, because majority of the trades and volumes, it looks like it's evenly distributed between 1.06 to 1.15. I feel like this is a neutral, this is a tie, this is a neutral sentiment on the trade and volume distribution chart. Let's check the true market sentiment. It's bullish. Well, let's see. Like what I've said, let's see if it can break above 1.15. At this point, despite the very strong upward momentum category from the DMI chart, I would say that if you have ALCO, just hold your position. Don't top up yet. You are better off topping up once it breaks above 1.15. Same thing for those who don't have ALCO. It's either you wait for a pullback or you consider buying on breakout. I said consider. I did not say go ahead and buy once it breaks above 1.15. Of course, whenever major events happen, you have to recheck these signals that we must check. Okay, the 10 MACD combo, the status of the momentum power indicator, etc. True market sentiment, trade and volume distribution chart, those things. Okay, so I'm still bullish on ALCO, but if you have it, because your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, just hold your position. If you don't have ALCO, you're better off waiting for a pullback or consider buying on breakout. So there, I'll be in Iloilo this coming Saturday. Are there 1 year subscribers who are from Iloilo here? So for 6 hours, I hope to see you there. This is not a suggestion. This is actually a requirement when you subscribe, since you are entitled to a 50% discount if you are subscribed for 1 year. you can upgrade your subscription from 6 months to 1 year if you'd like to avail of that 50% discount for your ticket. So August 3, I'll be in Iloilo, August 10 in Cavite, August 17 in Makati, and then October 26 back in Davao. For next year, I have Baguio, Pampanga, and Cebu. Okay? Buy your ticket while you are entitled with the 50% discount. And for those who are only subscribed for 6 months, I think the early bird rate is still up for this. But of course, those who are subscribed for 1 year will get a better rate because of the 50% discount automatically. Okay? So I really need to see you in this seminar so you can appreciate more, you can understand better the universe of equity analytics and how I see things. We're going to talk about stocks in action, not just purely lecture, not just about theories. We will deep dive into the actual application of the methodologies in that seminar. So again, my name is JC De Guzman. Have a profitable trading week and a disciplined one too. Bye for now.